this video today, I want to show you how we close higher ticket clients like clockwork. Okay, so just before we jump into this video, I've just added a ton more resources to the Social Media Marketing Academy program. I've now been coaching agency owners for over 4 years. So if you're interested in joining a 400+ resource program, learning how to start and scale your agency without breaking the bank, for £97 you can join the academy. Check out the link in the description. So one of the most important things you can do to close higher ticket clients is A, making sure you're following up with all of your leads, B, make sure you're plugging all of your holes, and C, upselling current customers. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how we do that in our agency. This is something that's allowed us to close hundreds of additional clients, so enjoy. Okay, so here we are inside of Pipedrive. Now, Pipedrive is a CRM. CRM just basically means customer relationship management tool. Essentially, it's a place where you track all of your customers, track your prospects, track your active deals, your active leads, and it's a way you can actually sort of gamify your whole sales process. Now, we use this to help us land clients like clockwork in our agency, and I'm going to show you the main way that we actually use this here. So if you take a look now inside of the screen, this is what you actually call our pipeline. Now, a pipeline is essentially the process at which an average potential customer has to go through to become a client. If you see here, we've got positive response. After a positive response, we usually send the meeting link to book in a call. Then the meeting gets arranged. Then they can either no-show the meeting or show up and have the meeting. We then usually in our sales process do an audit. So this means that the audit is in progress. We've sent the audit to the client. We start negotiating with the client on price and fees and what we're going to do for them. And then at the end, we have close phase, which is basically what we detail as sending the payment link or the contract to the client. So the way that this works, if I just go ahead and show you here straight away, is I can go ahead and create a deal. So let's say, I'm using Upwork to do outreach for clients, and then I get a response from a guy called John Smith. Okay, so John Smith has replied to me. I'm going to add John Smith as a contact, and John Smith works for the famous business of John's Bakery. Okay, I can then add John's Bakery as an organization. Okay, if I have a look here now, I can then title the deal. So let's say for John wanted Facebook ads. I can go ahead and say this deal is for Facebook ads. So John's Bakery Facebook ads deal, and I'm going to go ahead and price this deal at £1,000 per month. You can add a ton of other stuff in here. There's loads of custom fields you can put, like where the deal was sourced, website, Instagram, social media pages, all that good stuff. We're not going to go into that today, but at a bare minimum, I'm going to show you here, we can create this deal. So now you can see here on the pipeline, we've got John's Bakery Facebook ads deal for £1,000. Okay, and he's currently just had a positive response for us. So let's say we got a positive response from John. We then said, hey John, let's book in a meeting. We've sent the meeting link. You then simply move this deal up the pipeline depending on where it is in the pipeline. So meeting arranged, they no-showed the meeting, they've had the meeting, you're doing an audit sent, started negotiating, or close phase. So let's say you get the deal all the way up to the close phase section and you then end up closing the deal, or for some reason they detail to you that they've gone elsewhere. You can then drag and drop it down here to lost deal or one deal. Okay, but then as you see, you basically gamify the whole process. But what is the importance of this? Well, first things first, you can set reminders inside of these deals to follow up. So one of the big reasons this allows us to actually close more deals is because of the activities inside of these deals. So if I click here inside of the deal itself, I can leave notes and I can actually set activities. So let's say I say, right, I want to set an activity for John. If John doesn't reply to me in the next 3 days, I'm going to send John a follow-up email. Okay, so I'll set the activity as follow-up email. I'll come on here, select the action as email, and I'm going to put that 3 days out from now. So that's a Saturday. We don't work weekends. So we're going to say Monday the 16th. If I haven't had a response from John, I've got an activity here to follow up with him. And then I'm going to hit save. Now, if I go back to my deals here in my pipeline now, you can see that this is turned gray. Gray basically means there's no due activity on this. Yellow means there's no activity set, and red means the activity is actually overdue. Green means the activity is due today. But what's great here now, just in terms of systemizing your follow-up, you want to make sure every single deal that you have active in your pipeline right now is A, in the right section, but B, you've got an activity selected on that deal to remind yourself to follow up. Okay, if you do this every single morning, you can come in and you go over here to the left hand side, activities, and it will order all of your due activities for that day. So providing you've got all of your active deals inside of here in the right section, select activities on all of those deals, it will enable you to make sure your follow-up is absolutely pucker and you're not letting any of those deals slip through the net. And just to really drive this home, I jumped on a discovery call this week with a client, and my wife, who's actually in charge in the business of actually booking our appointments, she followed up with this guy, I think it was 8 or 9 times before he actually booked in a call. Now that may seem extreme, right, to follow up with somebody 9 times, but the key thing is if you don't have a no, it could be simply that maybe they haven't read the message, it's not hitting them at the right time, they're
busy. You got to remember, you're dealing with busy people. You're dealing with business owners. Oftentimes, just that follow-up, it's going to be important to stay top of mind. So making sure that you follow up is incredibly important. If you just have a conversation with a client, they go quiet, and you never chase that up, guess what? You're losing so much opportunity on closed deals. It's really important that you follow up and you set yourself reminders in order to do so.
Okay, sorry to jump in real quick here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Bradley J. Riley. Every single day I post behind the scenes content of me running my agency. So if you enjoy behind the scenes content, want to see what I get up to on a day-to-day basis, go and follow me over there.
And what's also really great about having a pipeline like this, and this is my favorite thing about this whole process, depending on where they're at in the process, you can then prioritize your time spent on your sales. Okay, so for example, let's say you've got 15 clients here in positive response, you've got another 15 people in here, 10 people in here, 7 in here, 4 in here, 3 in here, 2 in here, whatever, right? Every single morning you can come in, you can follow your activities based off what activities you've set. But what you can also do, which is really important and really powerful, is you can work top down. If you ask yourself a question, if I said to you now, what's more important, to follow up with somebody that you've sent the invoice to, they've just not yet paid, or to follow up somebody who you've sent the meeting link to and they've not yet booked a call? Obviously, it's far more important to follow up with the people that are the closest to actually closing. So you can come in every morning and say, right, I've got 3 deals here in close phase. I'm going to start my day by chasing up the people to pay the invoice that they have not yet paid. Negotiations started. Now I'm going to go to this section here and I'm going to follow up the people that we've started negotiating with and seeing, right, are we agreed on a price? Are we agreed on a service? What does that look like? Then with audit sent, I'm going to go in. Okay, let me check in. Have they had a chance yet to watch the audit that we've actually sent over? Audit in progress. Cool. Can I speed up the speed at which that audit is done to get that moving forward? And rather than just coming in all day and aimlessly just, I'm going to follow up here, follow up this person, you actually have a bit more structure to your day and you're prioritizing the leads at which you follow up with. And as you have a healthier and more filled out pipeline, it's going to be really important that you do actually prioritize the order at which you follow up with your leads. Not all leads are treated equal, and it's really important to remember that. Now, another thing that's really important that we use here inside of Pipedrive, if I click onto the deal again and go back to the activity section and I'm going to add myself an activity, these are all custom fields that I've set up here, but you can set up custom activities. Okay, so for example, an activity could be having a discovery meeting, it could be calling a client, it could be doing an audit, it could be texting them or WhatsApp messaging them. And what I look into with my sales team when I'm looking into the deals and the activities that are taken on all of our deals is I'll look at how are we following up, because like I just said a minute ago, you might be able to follow up with somebody 8 times in a row, but let's say you're following up with that person over email and perhaps your emails are landing in spam, or perhaps they're just not reading their email. I've even had situations before where people have changed their domains and therefore their email no longer exists because they've got a new domain for their business. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. It doesn't mean they're not eager to move forward. It simply means that they have not received that point of contact that you've hit them with. So when you're doing your follow-up and doing your activities, I really like to what I call prong the follow-up. So it might be that, okay, I'm going to set an activity for 3 days from now to email John. But what I might do, if I don't get a response after those 3 days, I'm going to email John. And then the next activity that I set on that deal, because remember, all deals, you need some level of activity, I might say, you know what, I'm going to attempt to just directly call John. And if I don't get a response 3 days later, I'm going to drop John a text or a WhatsApp message. And that way you're pronging your follow-up. And all of this can be tracked. So, next time you open up the deal, you can see all of the previous activities. So over the last 6 months, you can see, right, inside of here now, John's been followed up 17 times. We've emailed him 4 times. We've done 3 Slack follow-ups. We've done 2 calls and we've done 2 WhatsApp messages and we haven't heard back. At that point, then you might realize, right, this lead isn't actually very interested. But you can see here by doing this, you get to track all of your leads. You get to track where they are at in their process. You get to actually structure and systemize how you do your follow-up. You're allowed to track how you prong the follow-up, and you can see exactly what deals and what leads you should be prioritizing inside of your sales process.
Okay, so just to interject, if you're struggling right now to book meetings and you're a beginner, it's likely because you've got no results, no case studies to actually showcase. I understand how difficult it can be when you're going up against prospects who constantly ask for proof of work or to showcase clients or accounts that you've worked on. If you want to say goodbye to that problem forever, we actually have a case studies to leverage service. So if you're interested in being able to show your prospects results, case studies to help yourself build authority as an up-and-coming agency, check out the link in the description.
Now, just a final thing to go through here in this training today. Obviously, this is showcasing, this specific pipeline is a pipeline for prospective clients, okay? So people who are not yet clients. But you can create different pipelines for different sales processes that you have in your business. So let's say, if you run a marketing agency, right, like myself, you might offer Google ads and TikTok ads and say Facebook ads, okay? There's a huge opportunity for you to make more revenue in your business and create more opportunities and deals by upselling your current customers to other services that you offer. May that be consulting or another advertising platform, for example. So what you could do is you can create another pipeline and you can completely customize the sales process that they go through. You know, this process is a process that we go through for our prospective clients, but it might be a slightly different sales process you go through with a current customer to upsell them. So you could create a new pipeline and you could create what that sales process looks like. So it might be for you a positive response, you know, meeting link sent, meeting arranged, had meeting, and, you know, closed phase. So you know, maybe you don't do an audit if you're upselling. Maybe it's not about getting a positive response. Maybe you'll just call them directly. So maybe your sales process looks a bit different, but you can actually use this and create different pipelines to upsell your current customers. So just for some clear clarity on this, if I go to create a deal again, a contact and an organization and a deal are three separate things. The contact person is the point of contact within the business that you're reaching out to. The organization is the business itself, and the deal is the deal that's on the table. So for example, the Facebook ads deal. So let's say, you know, I've created John's Bakery here as a customer now. Let's say, you know, further down the line, I've gone here, I've actually closed John's Bakery. You know, he's gone all the way up to the close phase, and I'm going to drag and drop John's Bakery down here into the one. We're going to get a nice little animation here to make us feel good about ourselves. And then what we're going to be able to do is 6 months down the line again, let's say I want to reach back out to John's Bakery to upsell him to Google Ads. So if I go to contact person and type in John, okay, so I've gone in and typed in John, and you can see our contact John Smith already exists. So I'm going to select that. It's pre-populated John's Bakery as the organization, but this time we're going to call the deal Google Ads, okay? And then again, I'm going to value this deal at £1,000 per month. So now in this same pipeline, I've created a new deal with a current customer to upsell John onto an additional service. And this is a fantastic way to actually track, you know, your sales process rather than just coming in every day like, okay, how can I make more money today? How can I make more revenue? Oh yeah, I need to follow up with John. Keeping it all on pieces of paper, all messy. You get to track your leads, where they've come from, or the activities you've ever taken on that lead. Inside of the deal and inside of the organization and contact, you can track phone numbers, email addresses, points of contact, and on the more premium versions of Pipedrive, you can even sync your email account where you can track if they've clicked on the email, if they've opened the email, what links within the email they've actually clicked. So you can actually start to track your sales process a lot more deeply. Now, I've literally only scratched the surface here on Pipedrive. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see some of the more advanced features that we use in our own business to help us scale, then just make sure to drop a comment in the comment section down below.
Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this video here. I'm sure you'll love it. And then click here to subscribe.